Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Spiritual Rebels and Misfits podcast. We are really excited that you're here to get weird with us.
And we're going to have all kinds of, absurd ideas playing around with magnificent guests. And we're just going to go the places you always wanted to go. But, couldn't tell mom and dad how you felt about aliens, about channeling. You couldn't say fuck.
I'm Ashley Bradley. I am a mom. I am an intuitive business coach. I'm a business psychic and a channel.
And I am James Lester. I am an open homosexual. I'm a speaker, a writer. I am a member of the recovery community, and I am a queer activist.
And after you listen today, we would love it if you would follow us in one of the podcast places, Spotify, Apple, just to name a few. Subscribe, leave us a review. It helps new people find what we've created, and we thank you for listening. Let's do this. Hi, friends. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
How I would tell you to stop talking like that because it was really creepy when you used to always start all the conversations like that.
But funny that you bring that up because
hi, friends. Like that's how he would say it.
Where I adopted Hey Friends from Miss Christal. All right.
Well, she pulls it off.
Well, I'm gonna try to fucking pull it off too. All right. Hi, friends.
Hello, friends. She pulls it off. She has like
I've never
sexy librarian, like kind of like.
We're just gonna put up an image of an old hag instead of Christal because she's just too gorgeous right now, and it's just upsetting to me. But I love every ounce of it.
Well, we were talking about potentially bringing her in early and just catching up with her.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know if she is ready to come in early or not. Yeah. Okay. We're just gonna pull you in now because I feel like you're at this point you're not a regular guest. You're
fan.
Our regular friend that comes and hangs out and talks to us about sex and shadow and body stuff and life. And so, yeah.
How are you, gorgeous goddess?
Hi, friends.
See,
I was so excited to.
I feel different when she says it.
Go on with your excitement.
That's how it came up. That's how it started.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just was so fun. Are you guys getting, actually, should I stop with the cussing?
I want you to actually double it because we checked the explicit box and this is not being podcast over there in that group of Karens that reported the masturbation job.
Okay.
Not being
Gosh, yeah. I didn't post my thing today either. I got declined. Thank you.
So, Christal, since we have you in early, can you tell everyone what we're talking about today in case they don't fully understand what we're trying to do?
I thought we were going to just catch up with her.
We were going to catch up with her too, but I want everyone to know what we're talking about.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I want to say that I'm so excited to be here. I really feel like I'm hanging out with my friends on Friday night. It's the weekend. It's the freaking weekend. So I'm happy to be here. And so just what we are talking about is body image, but the body and that includes body shame and being also in love with your body and everything in between. And I think a lot of it we were all talking about before is just this, how we're seeing and speaking to our bodies and what that does in our own systems and what it puts out into the world. So, yes.
I feel we did actually for the first time get someone to do a moon update for us, but has there been any intensity going on in your week? I just feel the moon has been bringing up some intense feelings, but maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just
intense.
Maybe it's just my intensity. Yeah.
I'm super excited for this beautiful blood lunar eclipse visit down. Christal, you got any vibes going around that?
I don't have anything specific in thought, just, feeling the flow of it. I definitely have been feeling shadow arising and wanting to speak and I'm loving that. I'm making the choice to just love that and hear that and be with that at this point. So it's kind of cool that we're bringing up this, body image thing. And what arose in our last call was, I don't know, it just downloaded. It said, oh, we have got to talk about how we're all viewing our bodies, because there are vehicles through this life, and being in love with them is so important. And they have so many gifts for us and so much wisdom in them.
I gotta say, Christal, I've known you for like a long ass time now, and I've seen you in different transformations of outer being. And what I've always loved about you is, and I may be wrong about this, you've always seemed really comfortable in your body. And I've always admired that about you and loved that about you. And it always has beamed out of you. Like since you were a little bartender and I was a little sweaty server, like you've always had that aura of just like completely honoring your body.
You know, I was sweating too. I'm sweating right now. It's 70 degrees and I'm sweating. I don't know what's going on. Gosh,
I've always loved how you've always honored your body and loved your body. It's always just, it's beamed out of you. And that's something I've definitely been on a road with. I'm going to probably be on the road with for the rest of my life. So I'm excited to talk about it as well.
I'm curious though, because I wonder if like you exuded that and he felt that. Like, have you always felt like that? Is this something that you were just like always like naturally wise in, or were you wise in it because you really put in that work? Because I feel like sometimes people are surprised to hear that. You know, I don't know if you're willing to like reveal any of that.
Sure. Yeah, definitely. So I was shamed about my body when I was a young child. I started to understand that experience really young. I'm Filipino and Caucasian. This is my ethnicity. Half of my family is really tiny. They're Filipinos, and they would look at me, and I'm 5'9", so I ended up having like a body of a Caucasian, a German, basically. Tall, you know? And so I understood body shame really early, because I remember the look on my grandparents' face sometimes, like, oh my God, you're a giant. And then it hurt, you know, and my mom was so amazing at always standing up for me. So I kind of like cultivated that power and knew, no, what is happening right now is not okay. You know, we're all beautiful and we shouldn't be shaming each other. So that was my first experience with it. But through the years, there's been so much around that. And I think that foundational time when I learned from my mom that it's okay to love your body the way it is, and you don't have to take that shame that other people are putting on you. It really helped me get through the moments when maybe I was carrying extra weight and I was comparing myself to, you know, society and what's the most beautiful in society. Or, you know, as I don't know, James knows, Ashley, I've spent a lot of time, and you did too, you were saying this the other day, but, you know, I spent a lot of time in the beauty industry. And so there was a lot of comparison and vanity and all of that stuff. And I just wanted to always remain buoyant and resilient, because ultimately in my spirit, I feel super radiant. And I know that my body, my appearance is a reflection of that.
You were so, like, I love that your mom passed that on, because I just feel like, I'm like, ooh, like, I bet there's some people that learned that from their mom and went through different waves of it. I know, like, I did not learn that from my mom. And I feel like no matter what someone looks like, even if they seemingly have like the perfect body that we're like pining over, I feel like it's like all bodies of all types that really walk through this, and our body is changing. So yeah. I think that sometimes I come into people and they're just like, oh, well, like, I love my body. And it's just like, that's amazing. But I know that there's been times where I have, and there's been times when I haven't. And I was really struggling with that. And so I don't know. I just wanted to like at least share what like I felt like a lot of emotions coming up hearing you talk about that.
Yeah, I understand. I totally understand that. And I have too faced a lot of those just those moments of how am I going to navigate through this? I can either say to myself, I hate what's going on here, or I'm in love with what's going on here. That's all. It comes down to that choice. And I'm going to hate what's going on here because of who and why and what conditioning.
Mm-hmm.
Is that really me or mine?
Yep.
You know, then we have attraction, right? You know, we want to be attractive to others. That one came up a lot for me because I love that. I'm that kind of sexual or erotic person where like I love the energy and the pull between and the attraction and it's like, okay, well, I've got to like keep it together, keep it cute and fresh and sexy. But ultimately it's the deep knowing that I'm sexy no matter what the fuck is what that magnetism is where I really landed. You know, I can look completely different and still have the presence and magnetism that I desire. And a lot of people are struggling and I just want to find a partner. And some of that has to do with body image, you know, and if they can dissolve that body image is just a conditioning, then we can center back into the magnetism of having a strong spine and an open heart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that we're talking about like the energetic side of like, because everyone always wants to go into like the logistical side of like why they might not be finding that partner. And like, I love thinking about that of just like how much shifts and changes and who starts sort of just magnetically, like you're saying, being pulled to them when those shifts happen. And it's all about relationship with self at the end of the day. Like, I feel like as soon as I like came into my wholeness, like I absolutely felt like that's like when the partner showed up, you know. I think that, yeah, I just have so many thoughts that I feel like are branches of a tree, Christal, that you're just so brilliant. And I could just have all of these musings with you that take us
I feel the same way about both.
Yeah, I guess you're really feeling Christal. I'm always feeling Christal, but for me, what really had come up, we talked about this last week, was when you have that vibration, when you look in the mirror and you have that Mary J. Blige fucking feeling good vibe going, that's when you attract not only love and amazing sex into your life, but everything seems to flow. Money seems to flow.
Yes.
You know, romance not only with other people, but like with life in general. And I've had great stints of that, but it does dissolve because of other people's perceptions, you know, like, you know, we talked about like, you know, going through motherhood, your body changes so much. And like, how do you feel after that? And in the gay community, there's like a certain standard that you got to like have like 6-pack abs all the time and be tan. And it's like, regardless of what's going on out here, if the vibrational connection is going on with the universe, everything vibes. So I know that's hopefully where we're going to go today, right?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, all things, it's a key and all things fall into place, you know, once we can center, like I was saying, in that strong spine, open heart. But what that is like, okay, strength and presence. I'm here. I understand me. I'm in my centeredness, but I have the tenderness of an open heart. And giving that to being that is also giving that to yourself. You know, it's allowing yourself to be in the having, not even the creating, because the creating is still outside of us, in the having. So allowing yourself to be in the having of a glorious, sexy, yummy body, no matter what the fuck anybody says, because you can find all of the things that are incredible about it. You can sit in appreciation of your body, the way it looks, the way it feels, honoring that it gives you pleasure and sensation and others' pleasure and sensation. And just this whole thing about, it's like this chasm of being so concerned with looking back at the self and what do I think I look like through the eyes of this other person is just unimportant, and it's a waste of time and energy. It's like, how do we get in and start to feel and appreciate what we're really experiencing in these beautiful vehicles we're in, and just centering in that.
What do you think? Let's start at ground floor. All right. I know there's a couple exercises we are going to be able to explore with you today, but like ground floor, where do you think you really begin to have a new journey or understanding or feeling of wholeness with your body?
Great. Yeah. So it's by doing exercises. As we've gone over before, the three of us and other people too that have been in with us, we have to dissolve the bullshit that's in front of the coagulation. We have to dissolve it so that we can manifest something else. But I do feel that a lot of what I see is negative self-talk. That's a really hardcore foundational aspect that we can control. We can easily control. We can easily flip the script and start speaking differently to ourselves. For example, someone called me the other day and I said, "How are you?" And she said, "I'm just so overweight. It's just taking over my life. Oh my gosh, I'm really not able to, feel good about my body." And I thought to myself, which is how I would talk to myself if I was saying those things, is how am I going to now start saying kinder things to myself? Because all that's happening in that moment is I'm so overweight, I'm going to continue to just get more of that because that's all I'm focused on. So we have to switch it. We have to start saying, I appreciate that my body ebbs and flows in its weight sometimes. We don't have to go from like black to white. We don't have to go from like, okay, I'm just going to be skinny tomorrow and I know it. That's not going to work. One belief step, right? It's like that habitual thing where the brain actually starts to believe that you're on a different journey. Because we know that even body image, weight, the way, even the habit of how we speak to ourselves around all of this stuff like that, it shows up as changing habits too, right? Have you guys read The Atomic Habits?
I've heard about it, but I haven't read it.
Really good. And it's really about just one little change at a time and also this is what Esther brings. And, it's like not going from black to white. We have to do believable steps between. We have to go to gray and then we have to go to the next shade of gray before we get all the way to black or whatever. So I think it's just about flipping the script on a foundational level. Start to say just a little bit of kinder things to yourself. Start to say, I think that my body can change. I think that I can feel stronger. I'm excited for the day that I will feel stronger. I think I'm going to get up and do something to make my body feel stronger today. Oh my gosh, my body is starting to feel stronger. Oh my goodness. Okay, look at my body. It's strong as fuck. Well, making that journey, but it starts with what we're focused on. If we're just going to look at it and say, ew, gross, mom boobs, mom bod. That's what I've been hearing so much. Oh, I'm just in my mom bod. And I'm like, I am celebrating my mom bod. Celebrate.
So, Christal, can I kind of reflect back to what I've heard? And I love that you brought Hicks into it. So Hicks brings up the emotional scale. And I talk to people in the program about this all the time. We can't get from depressed to happy all of a sudden. No. It's just not doable. It's fake. It's like that toxic positivity. You can't just go like, fuck, I'm suicidal. I'm going to be happy now. Yeah. And Hicks talks about sometimes when you're in depression, if you can get to anger, anger feels a little bit better than depression. And so what you're really laying down here is like, if we're feeling fat, we can look at our body and be like, okay, I'm enjoying my curves. I'm going to firm up my curves, so slowly having this realistic up push with our body, right?
Yes. Okay. Yes. Definitely. Beautiful reflection. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I think that this whole topic, I didn't realize it until we stepped into it, but I'm all like out of body, mind, spirit. Body is the place that I go to the least. And it's been like the one that I felt like it just hasn't been about me, like being like, I feel like I've just been in this bubble with it. And so I'm like, why do I keep going off topic, or why am I having all these things come up that like, it feels like I'm like pulled out of it into like a lot of deep inward things in this conversation. So I just wanted to air out like what's I'm experiencing, because I do feel like I did not expect that this topic would bring that up in me today.
Does it make you feel uncomfortable a little bit to go here?
I think that it's an interesting sensation to be like experiencing deep things, like when you're live, when you're like realizing like, oh, this isn't just like the three of us like in a private conversation, but like, oh, this is like our podcast. Like this is like in all of the places that I show up. And so I think I think when that awareness is there, like, yeah, there's like just like a vulnerability. It feels like a tender space to be like talking about live. So yeah.
Well, and anyone that's watching, like, I feel free to comment if you're like having the same experience, what you're going through with your body. Like, we'd love to like pull any comments in, but like, yeah, it's awesome that you're getting realistic about it though. And Christal's such a great conduit to walk us through this journey together. So Christal, now we start the journey of starting to talk better to ourselves. All right. So what do you think we should next apply to ourselves in this journey?
Yeah. So what should next be done is the exercise of going into it. Period. So, I mean, I think we should do that now, because especially with Ashley really starting to feel that in your body right now. Like, okay, maybe the constriction. I really love how you said sensation. That was really nice, because it was a non-judgmental, right? Arising. That was really cool. Really nice language for you to be having with your body. But, yeah, I think that maybe we can go through this exercise, and then and anybody who is listening can follow along. Maybe grab a pen and paper to record down certain parts, like your goals and desired outcomes and things like that. And you guys are fine. I'm actually I have a pen and paper here.
Okay. I was like, I'm fine.
I love doing sessions with you, man. She's just like the perfect nurturing sessions. I just love it. All right, we're all yours.
I love being with you guys doing that. You're my faves. Okay, yeah. So this would be the next step that I say, needs to be done, because going into what is in the way here, and it is a tender topic, can really be a tender topic, but going into it is where the gifts are. So do you guys want to start now? Does that sound good?
Let's do it.
Yes.
All right, cool. All right, so go ahead and get just really centered in your seats and close your eyes. And anybody who's listening, just please hold space for these two masters. If you're just listening, hold space for their highest good. Know that they're coming through here as divine beings of choice. If you're following along, know you are held in this energetic space, even if you're on the replay. The transmission is here, and it's happening. All right. Oh my gosh. You brilliant beings. Thank you for being here. This is a safe container also, okay? Keep it, be mindful of your edges. If you are feeling a little edgy, that's okay. Don't go too far. Be easy on yourself, okay? So take 3 deep breaths here, please. And I'm going to ask each of you a couple questions. I'm going to be writing down your answers just to keep track. And when I ask you these questions, if you can just give me some clear, concise answers, this will be the most effective for our collective processing, okay? Mm-hmm. Okay. And I'll be mindful of the time as well. Okay, so tell me first, as you scan your body and you connect with this part of you that could possibly be blocking total self-body love. Maybe the part of it is body shame. Maybe it's just whatever the blockage is here. I want you to scan your body for that. And I want you to tell me, what's the problem?
Are we speaking this out loud, Christal?
Yeah, speak this out loud.
Yeah, I go to my stomach and it feels like stretched out and a lot bigger than it used to be. And it just feels like that blockage, like you're saying, like I feel the energy stuck there.
Thank you.
All right. For me, when I scan my body, the sensation that comes up is not masculine enough.
It's going to be really amazing gifts here. Get ready, guys. Oh, wow. Oh, I can't even wait. This is so great. Okay, so how would you like to feel instead of having that problem?
Strong, and I want to say like I just want to love and honor it as a portal and as like a part of me, and that it is on a journey, like its own journey. Yeah, like that.
Beautiful. Thank you.
I want to feel sincerely delicious and proud.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Okay. You're doing great. Both of you are doing really good. So now I want you to remember a time. Ashley, remember a time when you felt strong and you loved and honored this body as a portal that's on a journey. James, remember a time that you felt delicious and proud, and sincerely delicious and proud. Be there. Take a deep cleansing breath and let that go. Now, Ashley, I want you to feel a time and remember a time when you felt stretched out just a little bit, like, bigger and fuller. Just that, remember a time that you really can embody and drop into in that space. And James, remember a time when you felt not masculine enough. As you're both there, I want you to hear what you heard in that moment, see what you saw, feel what you felt, and be with that completely. Experience everything there. Now tell me, where is that in your body?
It feels a little bit higher up, like in my solar plexus.
Thank you.
Mine is in my chest cavity.
Thank you. All right. Ashley, tell me, what shape is it?
It feels like this radiating like sphere or ball of energy. And it kind of has this kind of pulsation. It can like grow and get small again.
Thank you. James, tell me what shape it is.
It's like a very sharp shard. It has lots of sharp edges, and it stabs and it hurts.
Thank you. Okay, guys, tell me its size.
It keeps changing. It goes from like at its smallest, like a tennis ball size, to like a soccer ball.
Thank you.
Mine is like the size of a chest plate, like it covers multiple chests.
Thank you. How heavy is it?
It feels really light. Like it feels more like light or energy, really floaty.
Thank you.
Mine feels light as well.
Thank you. You guys are doing great. Tell me what color it is.
Mine kind of feels like a fucking party, and it's weird because I'm like, why does it feel like almost like a rainbow disco ball? It's like it doesn't really make sense, but that's what it looks like.
Thank you.
Mine is see-through.
Ooh. Thank you. All right, tell me how old it is.
This one feels like 4 to 6 years.
Mine is many decades.
Mm-hmm. And how strong is it on a scale of 1 to 10?
I would say a 5.
I'd say a 9.
Thank you. All right, now I want you to address this aspect of yourself. I want you to turn to it and say, I know you wish the best for me because you are a part of me. Manifest yourself completely so that we can communicate. When you get compliance, let me know.
I have compliance.
Thank you. So I want you to now ask your aspect. Aspect, what is your goal for me? And when you know, let me know what those goals are.
I feel like it's just like honoring in all phases.
It wants to be honored. It wants to honor in all phases. Awesome. Thank you.
Mine wants to keep me humble, and it wants to keep me remembering certain pains.
Thank you. Thank your aspect for that potent information. And now I want you both to give your aspect what it wants. In your mind, just go ahead and give it everything it's needing right here, right now. Give it the honoring in all phases. Give it being completely humble. When you've done that, let me know.
Yes.
I'm there.
Thank you. Now say to your aspect, now that I've given you everything you need here, just like you wanted, what is the next highest goal that you have for me?
I'm hearing like, just like pamper me, like give me more time, give me more space, just like come back to loving me more.
I'm hearing honor me.
Thank you. Now say thank you to your aspects for giving you that potent information, and give it the love, the time, the space, and the honoring that it wants, just like it wants it in your mind. And when you've done that, let me know.
Yes.
I'm there.
Thank you. Now turn to your aspect and say, aspect, now that I've given you what you want, just like you want it, what is the next highest goal for me that you have that's even higher and more spiritual?
Pleasure.
strength.
Great. Thank your aspect for that potent desired goal and give it the pleasure and the strength that it wants in your mind. See that completely done. When that's done, let me know.
Mm-hmm.
There.
Thank you. Now turn to your aspect and say, aspect, now that you have the pleasure and the strength that you want just the way you want it. What is your next goal for me? Even higher, even more spiritual.
Mm. Now I'm hearing movement in nature.
Thank you.
Mine's telling me to just leave it be now.
I was starting to feel it was complete, and then I was like, well, maybe there's more. I don't want to miss out on what else.
You're going to reach a place where you do feel complete in this process. So when you are there, it's important that you let me know. And it's important that you let me know what that word is, what that place of completeness is for you, okay? So let's check back in and round back into that last place. James, your last goal was strength, and Ashley, your last goal was pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
What's even higher that this aspect wants for you that's even more spiritual, even higher?
Mm. I feel like I'm getting something different now, and it's like, oh, like we're just gonna fucking use this body as like a portable astral travel, and we're gonna take the potency of all of this, and we're just gonna like travel the cosmos. Like I feel like it really gets a little freaky.
Thank you. That's valuable. That's really valuable. What arises for you, James?
I'm really just feeling like that shape is becoming more and more translucent, and I keep hearing dissolve.
Dissolve. Thank you. Okay, James, I want you to merge into the dissolve, please. Ashley, and I want you to hold there, okay? Hold and be in dissolve. Become one with that dissolve. Disappear into that dissolve. Ashley, I want you to give this aspect the astro travel experience that it wants in your mind. And when you've done that, let me know.
Well, it says that we're already doing it, and we're just going to do it more consciously now.
Awesome. Okay, so now I want you to turn to the aspect and say, now that you have and you're already doing the astro travel, what is even higher and more spiritual? What is an even higher goal that you have for me, aspect?
I feel complete.
Beautiful. And if you could give that feeling of completeness a word, would you leave it at complete, or is there another word?
Transcendent wholeness is what
transcendent wholeness. All right. I want you to now merge with that transcendent wholeness. James, continue to merge and be and disappear into the dissolve. I want both of you to surrender into this moment of transcendent wholeness and dissolve. Be with that. I want you both to know that this is the essence of your being that you are sitting with in this time and space. Know that this is the essence of your being. And now that you have merged with that, I want us to go back down the gold chain. And anybody following along can also go back down the gold chain as well. James, if you are dissolved as the essence of your being, how does it affect the goal to just leave it be?
I think to become one with it is to honor the other goals.
Mm-hmm. How does it affect the goal of strength?
To be one with it, to dissolve into it, it's going to empower that.
How does it affect the goal of honor?
If I truly dissolve into it and I really embrace my strength, then I can get into honor.
And how does it affect the goal to keep humble?
If I really dissolve into it and I trust it and I let it be, then I can remain humble.
Thank you. And how does it affect the goal that we began with, which is to see, hear, oh no, I'm sorry. I'm looking for the goal. Where did I write that down? Oh, to feel delicious.
Yeah.
Well, sincerely, delicious, and proud.
If I combine all those things, then I can definitely feel sincerely delicious and proud.
Fabulous. Thank you. Ashley,
Mm.
now that you know this is the essence of your being, this transcendent experience, how does it affect the goal for astro travel?
So just to clarify, I'm staying in this frequency and then looking back at each of these of like what they feel like from here.
Yes, going back down the gold chain for this aspect.
It was interesting how I felt like so deep, and that even though like everyone's like watching or hearing with us potentially, that like I felt so deep, and I'm like, fuck yeah, I could like feel like I could feel like an astral travel right now.
Yes, indeed. I definitely saw you leave the body. And how does it affect the goal for pleasure, this transcendence?
It's about honoring it as an equal and giving it a fucking seat at the table.
Mm-hmm. And being this transcendence as the essence of your being, how does it affect the goal for pampering time, space, and to just give you more self-love?
Yeah. I feel like it, from here, it feels like that has become important. Like it's not just about taking care of it before like you get married or like, or, you know, you're having a baby, but it's just like all the time, like for me, like for this body. And so it feels like it's so much more important.
Thank you. How does it affect the goal, this transcendence that you know is the essence of your being, in honoring all of your phases?
Yeah. It sees like the beauty in all of them. It reminds me that I am part of nature, not separate from it.
Thank you. And how does it affect the goal, the essence of your being is now in transcendence? How does it affect the goal we started with? To feel strong, love, and honor that this is you portaling through this journey.
Yeah, I'm just hearing You were all those things all of the time.
Fabulous. Okay, now I both want you to imagine a ball of white light above your head, cascading down into your body, all the way over you, just washing over you. I want you to let that light expand out into infinity. In front of you and back of you, to each side, just let it wash through you, above and below. And come back when you're ready.
I feel like it's hard to come back sometimes, and I forgot I was supposed to open my eyes, and I think I just, yeah, wow.
Christal, I love that you get us to do weird shit with you all the time, and it feels so magnificent.
So tell me, what do you know now that you didn't know before?
It's interesting that like the way that I would just switch frequencies for other things, that like I can actually do that with my body as well, that there's like different pathways to see it, and that I'm just like, oh wait a second, I know how to shift perspectives and just be in this different energy and like feel different about it. It feels like different, and I think also a lot more connected to higher plane, parts of my work than probably what I even was like considering before.
Thank you. James, what do you know now that you didn't know before?
Well, I think like Ashley has way better answers than me, and hers are so spiritual. Mine's just wanting to feel settled and like confident with my body. And, I think part of what that shape comes up is, I think, like I have a wound to my chest that I've always been insecure about. And I think it melds with all my other insecurities, and to really honor and respect and understand how strong my body is. And then I can be proud of it. And then I can feel that deliciousness, we got to honor our wounds as well.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. So this will integrate as well. I mean, starting with a place where there's the vulnerability of, not having the best relationship or energetic relationship with our body in this moment. What you now have just done is heard that part of you speak and gave it what it wanted. So it's going to start to integrate in a different way, energetically and cognitively, and even in your body from here on out. You will never be the same. You will never hold this space of disconnection again. So congratulations.
Well, thank you for walking us through that. Anyone that watched this on Replay Guadalupe did an awesome job.
I was like, oh wow, she like actually was writing down your questions.
Yeah, so they're
on the replay, so people can go back and like. Yeah, that's awesome.
So Christal, I know we're coming towards the end of time, but something did come up when I was in that state that I kind of wanted to ask you about. Please. If I can just broach you on this real quick. I know that Ashley and her other group was going through the masturbation and manifestation challenge. And coming up in that, I was really thinking about self-pleasure. And when you're in disharmony with your body, or you're having weird images about your body, how self-pleasure can bring you closer to respecting your shell and enjoying your shell. Any thoughts on that?
Definitely. Yeah. So, for me personally, and working with my clients, a practice of self-pleasure, first of all, starts with pleasure. It doesn't necessarily just mean masturbation. We have to clarify what self-pleasure practice is. And it can be laying on your heating pad. It can be giving yourself an oil massage. It can be movement and dance. It can be masturbation. It can be crying. You can be having teargasms. It can be all of the things. Self-pleasure practice is listening to the body. So once you cultivate that deep of a relationship where you get quiet and you listen to what the body wants and needs, it's able and starting to feed it, right? Which we've talked about through the erotic blueprints, what the body likes to be fed, how that instrument likes to be played. The nervous system in the body starts to relax. You can finally start to take a breath once it's being given or played, given the food or played the way it wants to be fed. So when we talk about self-pleasure, if you create a practice of self-pleasure, which is a very high form of self-love, I mean, this is real self-love, really getting in there and saying, I'm going to carve out time every day. I mean, this is the key to my practice, my success, my expansion, my erotic awakening, is that every single day I have a self-pleasure practice that I spend almost an hour and a half in. I don't get out of my bed until that's done because I'm fucking important to myself. And so it's like when you create a practice of saying, I'm going to choose to see, find, feel, hear pleasure in my body, organically, this nervous system is able to relax. And then there's a deeper, clearer pathway for you to be in love with what you are seeing in the mirror, feeling, and it just organically gives you a deeper understanding and appreciation of the instrument that you have and that you're with on this journey. You know, it's really about falling in love with your own body. So yes, is my answer.
I love that. That's gonna be a sound clip, man. You know that sound clip's coming your way. So
it is. I know it is. I actually really thought about that, and I was like, something's gonna have to happen here with the little
girl. Damn, that sounds pretty. Damn, I'm a wise woman. Damn it. All right, Christal, I know that many people are familiar with it from the podcast, but where can we find you? What are you up to? Where can people seek you out that want to play with you some more and learn from you and be guided by you?
Yeah. So everything is moving into unkinked.love. So you can find me there on Facebook and Instagram. I also have a really cool group on Facebook called Unkink Yourself. So if anybody wants to just pop in there and play with us, a bunch of really fun, sexy people. We're talking about getting unkinked and being super sexy and all the things that kind of make you give you the opportunity to get kinky.
I know people need to realize that because I've been following your group as it's come along, and she's saying get unkinked about the shit that's blocking you from getting kinky, and that's what I love about it.
That's real. I love kink. Kink is one that really rises for me personally. I love all the blueprints. I can play in all of them. I have all of them in my system, but for sure, kink is like, I'm really getting into psychological kink, just pushing the boundaries of, what is like, where's that edge, dom, sub situation, subspace stuff. Oh, loving it. So yummy. So if you want to play in that and all the erotic stuff, go to Unkinked Yourself group. And I'm just coaching one-on-one right now. I think I have a couple programs arising and like coming through me. So that's going to be happening. But I'm working one-on-one with really smart, intelligent, savvy women and queer men, basically to just help them drop into their gifts, their spiritual gifts, their deeper spirituality through the erotic awakening. So if people are wanting to take that journey, they can come find me.
I can't thank you enough, my love. You are just one of my favorite souls I've ever encountered. Thank you so much for spending more time with us, baby.
Thank you. And thanks for taking this invite to let us talking about fucking being in love with your body.
I love that you were just like, I have a topic that I want to bring. And I'm just like, yes.
Thank you guys. So
I
fun.
would love for you to like anytime something's like rising and you want to have a conversation with us, please like let us know. You just are amazing, and I feel like we need to give her like a plaque or something for like most appeared guest on the podcast. She deserves something.
Wow.
You guys deserve. Are you kidding me? I mean, you're really doing it. I mean, I know we could like probably go back and forth on this mush love fest right now.
Jerking each other off back and forth.
No, you. But I am so honored to be in the presence of you both. Anytime and every time, even when we're not talking, I'm feeling you in my field, and you're on my mind, and I love you. And something else was there, and then it left. But yeah, you guys are just, oh yeah, you're fucking masters, is what I feel. So I see you divine beings. You're doing it.
Let's be real. You'll probably be a guest next week or the week after that. So thank you so much for your time.
Friday night date.
Bye, Christal.
I love you so much.
Love you guys.
So I don't want to forget that we have an astrology update too, because I was so excited that she happens to actually be our guest next week. So Terry Bays is a Vedic astrologer. I don't even know if I'm saying it correctly, but there's so much stuff going on with the lunar energies right now that I put it out there in Spiritual Rebels and Misfits Facebook group saying, hey, I know we have like several astrologers. Would someone be willing to give us an update? Well, and so we're going to play a 1.5-minute moon update.
Well, I was thinking like before we put it on there, because it is a really cool video, like I want to encourage anyone that like wants to like put together a little video, like if like you like with their
do gifts, it now until we start charging for that. I'm serious.
She is. I'm not.
I was like, this podcast will be monetized. I am a spiritual businesswoman.
I'm not. But let's watch the vid.
So I would like to talk about the moon cycle of going through all the astrological signs and what happens when the moon is void of course. So that means the moon is moving from one sign to another, but it's really not in either, and that's what's called void of course. And when that happens, it's not a good time to tackle a project and hope for success. That there'll just be blocks, and there will be things that stop that from happening. So it's just good to be aware of that. Today, for instance, we're in a moon void of course between the moon moving from Virgo to Libra. The other thing that I always use this for is I check when someone in the family needs surgery, because you, as Hippocrates told us, you don't want to take the knife to that part of the body that needs to be cut when the moon is passing through that astrological sign. So as an example, men, you don't want to have prostate surgery when the moon is in Scorpio during the surgery. You don't want to have breast surgery when the moon is passing through Cancer. There'll just be complications that could lead to other complications, and it's just something to be aware of. So just check where the moon is.
Thank you, Terry Bays. So we will make sure as well in the show notes that we will put Terry's website, or if you want to DM us at all, if you're watching live, I can make sure that I connect you with the place that you can find Terry. She actually is our guest next week on a completely different non-astrological topic.
What is the topic next week?
So I don't know if it's about like when faith turns to persecution. And so I've had some amazing conversations with Terry within my Facebook group, and she'll talk about, like I kept saying, oh, the Catholic, Terry left the Catholic Church after like 20 plus years of like working within it. And she'll say, well, the Catholic Church actually left me. And so she has had, I feel like in just a few minutes we talked to her, she has a book called Through the Stained Glass Windows. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, don't quote us on that. We'll give you the details next week. And it was about all of her experiences with priests, some like life-changing, amazing moments, some not so good moments. And so she is going to talk really about just like her pathway with that. Like, I know that a lot of people within our friend groups, within our communities really resonate with that topic of like shifting, and expanding their box of like how they're holding God and navigating that.
Well, what I love from the brief conversation with her is really navigating a truer relationship with your God or your higher power, and not being dictated by a church or by a family or by, finding that real alignment with your universe, with your God, with your higher power. So that's what I'm stoked for.
Yeah.
Is to get away from that persecution that, religion can sometimes bring our way and really find our God. So I'm super stoked for that conversation.
Yeah, I think it's going to be good. So we love you. We hope that you enjoyed this, that you'll check in and let us know, like, if you ended up going through this exercise. Hop into our Facebook group, Spiritual Rebels and Misfits Roundtable. That's where we hang out, where we connect with people, where we ask their opinions on upcoming topics. So we will see you all soon.
Good night, friends.
Good night, friends.